Happy Friday, everybody. We are back together here with another video, and we're going to be talking about Marvel. And of course, you know, they're owned by woke Disney, of course. Now, when the MCU came out, it was a very, very good product. A whole bunch of really good movies. Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3 was trash. Winter Soldier was great. Talking about Captain America, Winter Soldier, really good. But ever since they closed an Endgame, the product is trash. Why? They're not focusing on story anymore. They're focused on skin color. Now, me as a black person, I do not go and watch movies for skin color and gender. I don't. Now, I've been on record on one of my other channels. I do not want to see black Superman. Superman is white with black hair. I don't even want to see a blonde hair Superman. That just doesn't do it for me. But Marvel, they want to continue to go down this track of representation and diversity. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I don't think it's really working out. Actually, it's not working out, as you can see.
Oh, no. Get woke, go broke. Easily.
Yeah. The representation, it's
a virtue signal.
Yeah, and it doesn't really represent like a certain group, you know, because I mean, for me, I don't know does this make sense or not, but like, okay, just like, you know, for example, Asian, Mexican, or, you know, brown people play that role doesn't represent like all Asian or all brown color. Or
I was like about to bring that up. Not all black people represent all black people. If you see a black person on screen, that doesn't represent me really.
No.
Think of this. If you go to Africa, you go to Central Africa, East Africa, for example, a Kenyan, what do they have in common with me besides probably skin color?
Well,
nothing.
You guys have different culture, right?
That's what I was just about to say. Culture is completely different.
Yeah, plus
the language is different.
Yeah, plus you guys have different, you know, experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Even here in the United States, I was saying, I remember when I was in the Navy, and I was in the Navy in Virginia. Of course, you know, I'm a Southern guy, Cajun guy, and they actually had a Cajun festival down there. And it was actually authentic Louisiana Cajun food. Frog legs. I love frog legs. Crawfish. Took a couple of my friends from the ship there. A couple of them were black. They were like, I'm not eating that. Because one guy was from Ohio. Culturally and food-wise, they don't eat the same thing that we do. They didn't understand the Cajun culture. They didn't understand lanyap. They didn't understand any of that. It's just different.
Yeah, it's like when, you know, someone say like all Asian are the same. It's like, no, they're not.
No, the people in Hong Kong aren't even the same as the people in mainland China.
No.
Even the languages are different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. I mean, speaking of Hong Kong, people in Hong Kong experience more freedom than mainland Chinese.
Yeah.
Look, even the Uyghurs over there in northeast China, they're being persecuted.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Even if you have the same skin color, it doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't mean anything. But look here, Marvel Studios casting director confirms studio will continue to embrace their representation and diversity agenda that is slowly killing the MCU. Now, I don't know why they want to go down this road, but they continue to push this. Marvel Studios casting director Sarah Finn recently confirmed that the film production company will continue to embrace the representation and diversity agenda that has seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe fall into decline during Phase 4. a phase that was unceremoniously killed early by Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige. Now, here's the thing. That movie, The Eternals, they were trying to hit the woke jackpot with that. They race swapped characters. They made characters gay that weren't gay in the comic books. And the fans crushed that movie. Salma Hayek was in that movie. And the fans still crushed that movie. Because true comic book fans want you to stay loyal to the source material.
Yes.
And they did not do that. Now, we were just watching The Mayfair Witches on AMC Plus. And, you know, the interview with the vampire show, I watched that. I was critical of the race swaps. I was. Overall, it was a decent show, but it's not canon to me. I had a major problem with the race swaps. But in Mayfair Witches, they put in this new character that's not in the book. And he so happens to be black. But in the book, the guy's name is Aaron Leitner and Michael Curry. They took two characters and combined them to make one person in the show that doesn't exist in the books. Aaron Leitner is an old white guy in the books. And they made this new guy, I can't remember his name. Now, they didn't come out and say, hey, we want to make this more diverse or anything. But they did it and put in a black guy. It's not the end of the world, but it's stuff like that that I don't like. And if you're a comic book fan, you know, you're going to feel the same way. This is just like that Black Superman. Apparently, they're still making it. That thing is dead on arrival, if you ask me. I don't think anybody's going to watch it. They're gonna do this. Now, I went and saw Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. You didn't see it.
No.
But I told you about the villain, right?
Yeah.
The villain, they made him like this Mesoamerican guy. And in the comic books, he's not a Mesoamerican. He's a white guy from Atlantis. They took that out the comic books and flipped it around to make it Mesoamerican. And they did that strictly for woke points. That was it.
I really don't understand why they do that because, like, I mean, people should, know that when you see a movie, yeah, some of the historical events might inspired by, some historical event like history book.
Even history movies, they
changed something.
They changed stuff. Like Braveheart, for example, all-time great movie, very historically inaccurate.
Yeah, like the Ip Man movie, they changed something, but
they changed a lot of stuff
just to make the movie more interesting toward the audience.
Yeah.
But it's not true. It's inspired by the historical events. So I don't understand why they do that. And I mean, if they want it's just like they make it make believe, which is okay. But if somebody just see the movie and think it's true and stuff, and they are not looking at what is true and what is not true,
Well, I believe what they were doing, and I know that Ip Man is not a comic book movie. It's based on a real person that was actually Bruce Lee's master.
Yes. But something changed.
Yeah, something changed. They changed a lot of stuff, actually. But they've been doing that in Hong Kong movies forever. I mean, Wong Fei-hung movies. Wong Fei-hung was a Chinese hero, but there's been a whole bunch of Wong Fei-hung movies. Jet Li played him. Other people has played him. I mean, they make up stuff.
But the thing is that, they know what is true or not. It's just they see it as just make it more interesting for the audience.
And you do that. I mean, when you adopt stuff from comic books or movies, you're going to have to do that. Look at the Hannibal series. Me and Rose were talking about that yesterday on live stream. I loved it. I read all of the books. And of course, they changed stuff, especially to make a TV show. And I love that series. It was actually overall, in a certain way, well, I don't want to say that. It was definitely kind of faithful to the overall feeling of the books. But even so, the movies are pretty faithful to the source material for the most part. But of course, with that TV show, they had to expand and expand and expand on it because it was, 3 seasons or so based on one book, even though technically they really touched into multiple books in that. Even the Interview with the Vampire TV show touched into multiple books. There's a whole bunch of books in the Vampire Chronicles, and they touched on that. But definitely, Marvel is definitely having an issue with race swapping, gender swapping. They're into making characters lesbian and everything. Now, this woman right here, this young girl right here, Dominique Thorne, plays Riri Williams. She's Ironheart, tokenized Iron Man. They took Iron Man because Iron Man's dead now in the movies, brought her in simply because she's black. And honestly, she wasn't terrible in the movie. She wasn't. There's nothing against her. But it's a tokenized character. Nothing more. I mean, they made her just for woke points, really.
For representation.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
There is real no point for representation in a movie because, as you said,
follow the source material. The source material is the representation. And here's the thing. A lot of comic book people already say there's so much other stuff out there in the Marvel comics with black characters, other different characters. They don't even touch it. They just take the existing popular characters and just want to switch them around. Like Captain America is now black. They changed the Falcon into Captain America. No, Sam Wilson is not Captain America. He's not. Captain America is Steve Rogers. But they wanted to make a black Captain America, so the next Captain America movie is going to be the Falcon, who's basically getting a hand-me-down from Steve Rogers. This is stuff they do, and they do representation so poorly. They just want to go out there and say, hey, look here, we gave you a black Captain America. But to a comic book reader, they're going to be like, wait a minute. I don't want a black Captain America. I want Steve Rogers.
Yeah. So, I have a question. Well, okay, let's say if you want to represent someone, what will you do? I mean,
as far as if I wanted like representation in a movie. Well, if I'm, this is just me. If I'm going from a source material that already exists, I'm not going to look at anything based off race and sex. I'm going to look at the way the writer of the book or whatever, the way they made them, and I'm going to go from there like that. Yeah. I'm not going to switch out the person like that. Now, if you're creating a completely new story, hey, that's fine. You can make a black superhero or something if it's completely original. You can do that. Don't have a problem with that at all. But Hollywood wants people to think that, hey, we've been doing this first. Like Black Panther, for example. When it came out, I believe, what year was it? 2018, something like that. When it came out, they were trying to make it seem like this is the first black comic book superhero. No, it wasn't. 20 years before, Wesley Snipes was on Blade. And Blade was a better movie. I love Blade. Everybody loves Blade. Blade came out in 1998. Me and my friends in Lake Charles went to see it. And you know what? Nobody brought up the race of Blade. Blade is a black, half vampire, half human. Wesley Snipes played him. Nobody cared about the race. Nobody did. And they made 3 movies. Nobody cared. It wasn't a big thing. But today they want to make everything about, hey, we got representation here.
Yeah, but it doesn't represent everyone.
No.
I mean, it doesn't represent certain group, okay?
Yeah.
Because everyone is individual and everyone has different thinking, you know?
Yeah. But think of this. In China, for example, mainland China, they have a pretty big black African population over there.
Yes. African.
Yeah. Think of this. Do you ever foresee China saying, you know what? We need more representation. We're going to get one of those black Africans to play Wong Fei Hong.
No.
It'll never happen.
No.
It'll never happen because Wong Fei Hong was not black. But woke Hollywood actually had I think it was a movie, a TV show about Anne Boleyn, and they got a black person to play Anne Boleyn when Anne Boleyn was white and married to Henry VIII. It just looked dumb. It did.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this before we wrap it up?
No. Well, what do you think about diversity agenda in the movie?
Oh, sometimes you can easily see it. Like the Marvel movies, you can easily see it. It's forced agenda because you can tell that they're focused more on the diversity because they tell you before the movie comes out. Mm-hmm. They'll go out on all these press tours and tell you about it. And that's the only talking point they have.
Well, I don't mind diversity.
Nobody minds diversity.
But like,
but I will say this:
what
if we're watching like in an ancient movie on Vikings, I don't need to see all black Vikings because we know that didn't happen in real life.
I mean, diversity. I don't mind diversity in the movie or TV show or anime because in anime, like they have some, brown skin color.
Yeah, and a lot of the anime is actually Japanese, so they're putting Japanese people in there.
Yes, and I don't mind that. I mean, as long as the anime series is good,
Right.
And it's not bad, then I don't mind. I mean, because when I watch anime, it's not watching like the skin color or anything.
Right. I agree. But guys, let us know what you think of this. MCU, they're going to double down on all of this woke stuff here. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're approaching, I believe, like 274 subs. Maybe we'll have a good month and get to 300. Never know. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. We'll see you guys back on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.
Goodbye.